Hi everyone, this is Arun. Today I'm gonna demonstrate how to use the KeenIO connector which I have developed for Mule USB flow. So before explaining the implementation side of it, I will give a brief on what is KeenIO is all about. KeenIO is an cloud-based analytics engine. It is capable of getting events from different systems to be collected at a common point at a singular location and showcase it as a dashboard in a variety of way. KeenIO provides different analytics dashboard, different flavors of analytics dashboard. The main uniqueness of KeenIO is that it gives client development APIs in multiple language platforms. Also, it has got a very powerful query building unit which helps in generating the reports based on the analytics very fast, and you can create some cool stuff dashboards using KeenIO queries. So I have a KeenIO account here. So what you can, if you want to access KeenIO, you can have to go to keenio.com, and this is the website what you're seeing. And I'm just logging into KeenIO with the account which I have already registered. I'm logging in. So what you see here in this dashboard is that I have a project which is already created, my first project. The one which you are seeing here is the administration page, and if I click on my first project, you can see the details of my project, the project name, the project ID, the API keys, event explorer, containers. So I'll give a very brief on what is these things. So in order to use KeenIO, you need to have a project, and the project, my first project, is a project containment, and every project will have an associated project ID. So here what you see it as event explorer is actually the list of events what a particular account is holding. So the event explorer holds your events using something called as collections. So collections, you can literally think it like Java collections itself, where you have a list of items. So here also the collections is nothing but a list of events. So these are some predefined these are some collections which I have already created. So what I will be doing is like I'll be creating a collection and sending the events into that collection, and I want to see that what all the events that is being logged inside that collection. I need to select it, and let's say last 10 events, so I can see here the events that are created. So if I click on one of the events, I will get the detail what is the payload or data which I have sent in that event. So by default, Keen will carry these events like timestamp, created at ID, things like that. And this is a payload which I have already sent. So I will show you from Mule how this is being sent, what is the way by which I can send it. And as I said earlier, KeenIO has got a lot of language support, which is like Java, Python, .NET, iOS, Node, Scala. So at a high level, this is what we used to do using KeenIO. And in order to do anything on KeenIO, you need an API key to access it. So KeenIO gives you clients in Java, and I'm using Java for accessing it. And in order to access that, you need API keys. Now you have a write key and a read key, which is for as very well clear. It is one is for writing, another for giving a read access. So now I'll come back to the Mule, where I'm going to write a flow to inject events into KeenIO. So how will I do that? I'm opening my Mule Studio. I have a Mule applications which is already created, an empty Mule application, Keen demo. So To demonstrate what I'm going to do is I'm going to create an HTTP connector here. I'm dropping a HTTP connector, and the next step what I'll be doing is I'm going to use a logger just to see whether something is logged after entering the flow. And the next is the star of our show, the KeenIO connector. So KeenIO connector which I have developed has got the properties which allows you to send the events. So I will go into the details right away. So I have dropped KeenIO. Now if you see below, you can see the properties which I need to fill. So connector configuration is something which right now I haven't provided anything for. Just for filling, you can add empty detail, my property, which is of no interest as of now. Then I am selecting operation send message, which is the important part. So if I want to send the event to KeenIO, I will be selecting send message. Now the current version of the connector which I have developed is capable of sending the events. Now the next version will have capability to read the events. So you will have a drop down to read the events. So the current version I am just demonstrating you how to write an event into KeenIO. So below you can see the event details and connector configuration section. So event details, as I said, is the payload or the data which I want to send to KeenIO. So an event detail requires an event key, an event message, and a collection name. Now the event key and message is nothing but a payload which I am constructing like a JSON format. So event key can be anything and event message also can be anything. So I'm giving here key as something like name, message as Arun Kumar, my name, and collection name, as I said, KeenIO holds everything under a collection. So going back to the screen I'm showing here, I said there is a collection, like here I'm showing Cisco, which is a collection. So under collection you have multiple events. So here I'm going to give a collection name like MuleSoft, and the project ID, which is the project ID which I created for the organization in KeenIO. So I'm getting that project ID here. The write key is the access for writing the message. So I'm going to provide the permission, the key token for KeenIO connector to write into Keen. So I have already collected that details from here to a notepad here. So I'm selecting the first one, which is for I'm selecting the first. So I've selected the first one, which is nothing but the write key. So going back to the Mule flow, I'm putting the write key. Then I have the read key, which again I'm going back to the notepad. Selecting it and pasting it here. Now as I said, the read key has no big relevance here, only the write key is going to work out right now. So I have the necessary details now. I'm giving basic configuration details for HTTP connector. Localhost, and I'm giving Wi-Fi. Key. Okay, I have my necessary details required for my flow to work. So now let's run the application and see how it works. I'm giving source as, sorry, I'm giving run as Mule application. Okay, so the application is deployed. So I'm going back to REST utility, which is a Postman tool. Here I'm giving localhost colon 8055, which I believe is the one which I gave right now. Just to reconfirm, so it's 8055 itself slash key. So I'm going to give a hit on this URL, and the expectation is we send an event with a data with a collection container. So the message is sent, name and the payload. So what I gave as event and message is going to become a payload here. So I gave name and Arun Kumar. So became a JSON format. I'm going to send the event has been sent to Keen. Now let's see whether event has reached KeenIO or not. So I'm coming here, refreshing the screen. Yep, I have my collection MuleSoft here. So going to MuleSoft, I'm seeing the last 10 events. Yeah, I have my message here which I sent, name Arun Kumar, and the time in which the message has been sent. So this makes connecting to KeenIO pretty easier way, and you have the current version of connector is pretty much in a immature level, which needs a further level of maturity in having more features. So let me know the comments and review on this the current version of KeenIO. So so as to enhance it much with much more features. Thank you.